this has been a chaotic season already. I'm sure it's going to get more chaotic as the season goes on. Welcome to episode number 3 of the Jordan and Dad show on the Flash Jordan channel. These videos are going to come out every Tuesday now. I know I keep lying about the schedule. I'm going to stop that now. But anyway, these videos will come out on Tuesday. I'm sure of that. And let's go ahead and get into our picks from last week. You know, like Shakespeare said, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. And you need to go through that trust the few stage when you're picking college football games, because college football is just chaotic. As you see here, just 4 upsets right here. I mean, last week we had like 1, 2, 3. We had 4 good upsets last week, and they were all games where, you know, I didn't expect anyone to win. Like, especially that Wake Forest Duke game, which just boggles my mind. But you know, there's just every game is a complete surprise. No one is a heavy favorite. You know, anyone can win the game. I personally did not do very well last game. I only got 4 games right out of 10, so which brings my record for the season to 12-8 games. Alright, now we're gonna bring in our insider Craig Dad Cruz. You didn't have a good week as well. I think your success is based on Northwestern's success, but we're not gonna get into that. You also went 4-6, which brings your total to 10-10. So you're 500. What's your reaction to the way you've been predicting this year, and you know, why have you not been doing so well this year?
Well, honestly, I think that my strategy needs to just be flipping a quarter, picking one team heads, and picking that one to win. Honestly, you can't go off the rankings, and obviously we can't go off of our gut feeling. So I don't know the strategy. The strategy is I don't know, to be honest.
Flipping a quarter might give you a better chance than Northwestern has a chance at winning a football game. Alright, moving on. Alright, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this segment. The picks, why you're all here. Mine and Dad's predictions for week 2. The first game we have is not what I picked to... Oh, actually, yeah, that's my game of the week. Number 2, Florida State Seminoles at the number 10 Louisville Cardinals. Now, Louisville has performed amazingly to start the year. Their quarterback is definitely a Heisman candidate this year. Florida State has not, you know, they've performed well too. With that week 1 win against Ole Miss is certainly going to help their playoff hopes, and they're looking really good right now too. Now this game is at Louisville. Man, this is a tough one to pick. What do you think?
Well, I don't really care for either team, but obviously I go for the underdog the majority of the time. So I like Louisville just because Louisville is the underdog, but this is at home. So I'm going to go with the home field advantage here.
I would agree, and their offenses just look stellar. They've scored a combined, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe they scored a combined like over 130 points in the first 2 weeks. That's phenomenal, so I gotta go with Louisville on this one. Alright, the next game we have the ranked number 25 Miami Hurricanes at the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Now, oh boy, now this is going to be a good one too. As you probably saw Appalachian State 8. They barely lost to Tennessee in week 1, and they come back with a win in week 2. So even with the loss to Tennessee, I think Appalachian State is still probably going to have a great season. And I actually think they're going to win this game in an upset over Miami.
I'm going to say that again, it's possible this would be another coin flip, but I'm just going to have to pick Miami.
Interesting. Alright. Next we have the ranked 22nd Oregon Ducks at the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Man, tons of good games this week. And this trend will continue throughout the rest of the segment. Now, Oregon really hasn't climbed much in the rankings, and they really haven't shown that they can, like, blow out teams as they should. Even though they have had some pretty solid wins, like the people that they've played or the teams that they've played just aren't really powerful. Like Virginia, I mean, when Virginia lost by 17 to Richmond, that's how you know you suck. And honestly, I think Nebraska is going to end up taking this one. I predicted Nebraska, they would win the Big Ten West and possibly the Big Ten itself. And I think Nebraska is going to win this game in another upset.
I hate not pulling for the Big Ten, but the truth is that Oregon has not given anyone a reason to drop them in the rankings. They've won, and I feel like they're just as good as Nebraska. Where is this game at again?
At Nebraska.
It's at Nebraska. Well, that's a tough one. That is really a tough one. I'm going to go with Oregon here.
All right.
Even though it's at Nebraska, I'm picking against what I really want to happen and what I think should happen this week. I'm going to say Oregon's going to come out on top.
All right, next one, and this is an interesting one. In the past 2 years, Ole Miss has come out on top of this one. A lot of people are thinking that's going to change this year, but I don't know. We have the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, I know. This is the only team that has beaten Alabama in the regular season in the past couple of years. So, number 1 Alabama at number 19 Ole Miss Rebels. I am leaning toward Ole Miss in this one. I mean, they have momentum on their side. They've beaten them 2 years in a row, and they've put their foot down on them. And I'm picking 4 straight upsets here. I think Ole Miss is going to win this one.
Wow. Well, then let this be the year that I pick Alabama to win. I did want Ole Miss to win the last 2 times I've watched them, but honestly, this Alabama team is just as good as last year's team, and you would think that Nick Saban and his crew and that team can have a different mindset this year, where they know they have to win, although pressure does make a difference. A lot of pressure on them. They need to win. I'm picking Alabama, though.
All right, the next game we have the Pittsburgh Panthers at the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, Oklahoma State, and I guess I have to bring up Northwestern again, have both gotten robbed by the refs this year. You can probably look that up on YouTube to see how they get robbed. They were both terrible calls, and Oklahoma State was probably even worse. There was no penalty on that play. It was just awful, and I think they're probably deflated like the Patriots balls. I mean, probably deflated this week. And honestly, Pittsburgh had a good game last week against Penn State, even though they let them come back a little bit. I think Oklahoma State's still going to be mad about it. I think they're going to be rattled, and I think Pittsburgh's going to win this one.
Boy, again, another tough pick. This is a great pick-up week, and I didn't even look.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
So Oklahoma State is someone that I like to pull for as well, but so is Pitt. Both are schools that are not in the spotlight every year. It's tough to pick between those 2 teams. The problem is that Pitt was playing Penn State. Oklahoma State lost. I'm going to say Oklahoma State.
Man, we are disagreeing on a lot of picks this week. Alright, we have another good game, and all but one of these games I think will be good. We have the number 17th ranked Texas A&M Aggies at the Auburn Tigers. Now, Auburn lost in week 1 to Clemson in a tight matchup, but Clemson, their defense just shut down the Auburn offense. So did the Auburn defense the Clemson offense, but as Clemson has shown, as they dropped 3 spots in the rankings this week, they're struggling a little bit on offense. I don't think that'll be a problem moving forward. And Texas A&M is coming off 2 solid wins, or at least a solid win off UCLA, and I think Texas A&M is going to win this one at Auburn.
Well, I'm going to pick Auburn. It's at Auburn. It's an SEC conference game. The crowd's going to be there, but I don't think the 12th man at Auburn is as effective as the 12th man at Texas A&M. The issue that I have with picking Auburn, though, is that I just don't know about them this year. Obviously, I don't really know about any team, I guess, at the 3rd weekend. However, I want Texas A&M to win. I think Auburn's going to take the cake in this.
Alright, let's move along here. Our next game, the 12th ranked Michigan State Spartans at the number 18 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, this is going to be one for the ages, I think. Both teams haven't played in a while, and both teams are looking for a win in this one. This is the two biggest games for both teams of the year, besides for Michigan State and their conference play. But this is a big one for both teams. Notre Dame coming off that Week 1 loss against Texas. Texas has shown that they could be pretty good this year, though. I'm not going to dog Notre Dame for that. Michigan State's only played one game this year, and in the one game they played, they only beat Furman by 14 points. That's 2 touchdowns. And I don't have as much faith in Michigan State this year as I did these past years. And since Notre Dame is at home, I'm going to pick Notre Dame in this one.
I'm going with Michigan State. They have the capability of beating any team at any time. Fortunately, it's not a sure thing that they do that, but their program is really good. It's one of the top programs in the country for football. Well, actually across all their sports. I just don't know if Notre Dame is awesome this year. I don't think they do. I'm picking Michigan State.
Alright, the next game is my game of the week. The the third ranked Ohio State Buckeyes at the Oklahoma Sooners and their 14th ranked spot. Now, Oklahoma did have that loss to Houston in Week 1, and I would call that a crushing because you lose by that much, and you're a preseason playoff team. There's obviously a little something wrong, and I think Ohio State, again, they lost a lot of draft picks in the offseason, but this year it's looking like it's more of a reload instead of a rebuild for Ohio State this year. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Buckeyes in this one.
Well, I hate that, losing players to the draft is a feather in Ohio State's cap. The truth of the matter is that it's not. It doesn't say much about players wanting to stick with the program. It makes them pretty individualistic. However, they do have something going on there because they're good year in, year out. This is a year that I predict Ohio State to be either 8-4 or 9-3. So I think this is going to be their first loss of the year.
Wow, bold predictions today. We do not agree on it. We only agree on one game so far, I think.
One of us is either going to do really good or one of us is going to tank.
Oh, yeah.
This is the week where we separate.
Huge difference. Excuse me. Alright, we have, on the next game, the USC Trojans at the 7th ranked Stanford Cardinals. Now, I never pick USC because every time I pick them, they lose. And Stanford did beat them last year at USC by 10. And Stanford, with Christian McCaffrey, he's unstoppable. And I don't think USC is going to be able to stop him at all. This is my lock of the week. I have Stanford all the way in this one.
So this is your number 10.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and just... I think Stanford's going to win this too. I really do. Where is this game played?
Stanford.
That's good. Let's pick Stanford. Yep, I'm with you on this one.
Alright, next game. Our final game, we have the UCLA Bruins at the BYU Cougars. Both of these teams have suffered tough losses this year. BYU lost by 1 last week after the failed 2-point conversion, and UCLA lost in overtime to Texas A&M. These are two teams looking for a win. They desperately need it. And BYU's been in the pick'em all 3 weeks, and I think they're going to win again.
Let's go UCLA. I'm picking them because BYU doesn't have their magic this year. And I think UCLA is the better team. You saw how UCLA struggled, but at the same time, so did BYU. So we're picking UCLA. Better program.
Alright, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Any last words for the people at home?
Flip a coin. Flip a coin. You just pick your winners. You're just as well off.
Alright, thank you for watching. See you next week.